All right, hey guys. What follows in this podcast is a little bit different from our normal episode. We kind of got to talking about some random things, some really hard hitting topics, such as ice cream, how little clothing Todd could wear, and how I want to destroy the environment. And so we figured we'd take all of those clips and different things that we've been talking about, package those up with a little bit of exercise science education, and make something fun and useful out of it. So hope you enjoy. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Um, well, are we going with like just chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry, or are we going like literally any flavor?
You can go as far off the reservation as you want.
I'm a big fan of Ben and Jerry's, in particular, Chubby Hubby. It's got like these big peanut butter pretzels covered in chocolate and just like chocolate ribbon and cinnamon buns. Ben and Jerry's cinnamon buns is
Dude.
also.
So when I was on your website looking for a picture, also, did you like the more jacked picture I found of you? Yeah, you're in like a all blue tank top. And
I
I
mean, that describes all of my tank tops that I own.
that's fair. I have no clue if you're gonna be able to see this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was during
That
a
was during a
5K
trend
down
cycle.
in that was down a 5K in Florida in January. It was very cold, which is why I was wearing gloves.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I really get that. I like limbs and centrally, I want those things to just cool down all the time when I'm exercising. Hands and
Mhm.
feet, I want those suckers toasting.
Yeah, it's really a problem with running. Especially if I'm doing longer distances where I need like 5K, not that big a deal, but like longer distances if I'm grabbing cups or fuel, like hydration and nutrition, my hands like stop working, and so I
Mm,
can't. Like if I try to pick a cup up, like yeah, exact. I'm like, "Er."
that's
um.
amazing.
So yeah.
Let me know what you think about this. The I had an ice cream flavor that was a sleeper, like solid C minus to C plus if I was really in the mood, and it's jumped to like tied for first. Mint chocolate chip.
Oh, that's not a sleeper.
It was a sleeper
Mint
for
chocolate
me.
chips. See, I'm not like I like mint ice cream. I don't really like chocolate chips in the ice cream though, because they get so hard and crunchy. I would rather have like a chocolate ribbon or something. Um, Mint mousse tracks, but yeah, I mean mint chocolate chips is solid flavor. I would rather it instead of being like actual chocolate chips, be like mint shard or not mint shard, chocolate shards,
Is that like the
than
thin?
actual. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so that's all the mint chocolate chip I've ever had is the shards.
Okay.
It's like
Yeah.
long strips and it's like just a little bit of a crunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Yep.
you couldn't pay me to pick mint chocolate chip over something like Superman or chocolate chip cookie dough.
Huh.
And then this year, I don't know if I just tried it at the right time, right place. I actually, for like the past probably 15 pounds of my cut, I have like 1 to 2 servings of ice cream a day. Um,
Oh, nice.
it's awesome. And yeah, that's, I don't know if I just had it at the right time and then it just hit perfectly and now I'm addicted to it or what.
Yeah.
It's very good.
I
So,
have ice cream every night, so it
yeah.
doesn't matter to me.
Are
Cooking,
you
cutting, all the things.
are you generally pretty eucaloric?
I honestly don't know. I mean, my weight is pretty much stays the same,
Yeah.
so I would imagine that I am.
Yeah, so yeah. Like you don't often have to probably ever barely gain or diet into things.
No,
Interesting.
no. I know there'll be times where it's like, okay, I'm not having ice cream every night, or I'm eating a bit more carbs or whatever, depending on the day
Yeah.
and how much I'm exercising. Like some days I'm just ravenous because I exercise 3 or 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
But
What with your exercise, what do you have any idea what your maintenance is calorie wise? Can you use a lower?
let me check. I'll give you a rough average estimate,
I'm
maybe.
not doing that about this second already.
I don't know if I can. Now that I'm looking, let's see, maybe health stats, calories.
Do you track your calories?
Not that I eat the. I'm just looking at like calories burned.
Mm.
I don't want active calories. Is that 20,000 calories over the course of 7 days? Is that?
So like roughly 3,000 calories for exercise.
Yeah, but that's not. I think it's 20,000 calories total. So like only 3,000 is my. Well, that was a little low. That was low. 25,000, 25,000. Yeah, so it's like about 25,000
That's
calories
4K
per
for
week.
that. So how confident are you in that device being clear to ensure?
It's not Garmin, and I use a heart rate strap, so fairly accurate, I would say.
Okay. So well then now I gotta know. Walk us through like an average day.
Gosh, it's pretty much the same every day.
I love it.
I will have a bagel with peanut butter and honey, just plain bagel with peanut butter and honey for breakfast. I make these egg whites. So the egg whites have just some sausage and cottage cheese in them and cheese. So it's like when we make the egg whites, it's 9 eggs, half a cup or maybe 1 cup of cottage cheese is half the container of cottage cheese, like half of the ground sausage, and maybe like half a cup to a cup of shredded cheddar. And so I'll have two of those. Like there's like in muffin tins. So I have two of those. Yeah, yeah. So I have bagel peanut butter and honey and a couple of egg whites for breakfast. Sometimes depending on where I'm at in the day and my schedule, I might if I'm at home I'll probably have like a bowl of cereal an hour or two later, whether that's Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Lucky Charms or Honey Nut Cheerios, whatever we have in the house, Frosted Flakes. I'm not really picky as far as like
Cereal is
what
just
I
like
eat. Yeah,
you have
just
like a milk in it.
yeah, just skim milk. Not a. I don't really like the plant-based
Oh,
milks.
sure. Have you had Fairlife?
And I have had Fairlife, it's just too expensive, and
Yeah,
I'm not gonna like we drink Fairlife chocolate milk
it's
sometimes
delicious.
when it's on sale. But yeah, it's all too expensive for me, and to go
It
through
is with how much
more than one of those a week would be rough.
I just look at the macros on it. I think it's like it's Jesus basically like Jesus with milk.
Yeah. So then if I'm not at home, like I just have some yogurt with a little granola, some homemade granola here at the clinic. But if I was at the clinic, I would just have Greek yogurt, like a cup or so of Greek yogurt. Lunch really kind of depends again where I am, what I'm doing. I found that during when I'm not in the school year, I don't have as set of a schedule of like eating while I'm at home because I don't meal prep. And I was like, I'm just gonna find something in the fridge, which ends up being not a great thing a lot of times because not that I will forget to eat, but it's just like, oh, I'm just stacking a handful of peanut butter pretzels, every 10 minutes or whatever. So what normally would be like a salad, a peanut butter jelly sandwich, clementine, apples with peanut butter, and then whatever leftovers were from the night before. So whether it's chicken pad thai homemade that we made the night before, or sausage with rice and peppers, or whatever leftovers we have, and then dinner, whatever's on the menu. I think like we're having chicken fettuccine alfredo tonight. We make sloppy joes, we'll make hot dogs and hamburgers on the grill, grilled corn.
So you probably actually really into that. Okay, I was wanting to kind of grab
Yeah,
that stuff.
well, yeah, and then I'll eat something after dinner. Whether it's ice cream or brownies that we make or whatever. So yeah, I eat a lot throughout the day. Trying to think what I have in my lunch right now. I don't have much in my lunch today because I'm leaving here in like an hour. Because I'm going to give a swim lesson to one of my friend's dads. They're swimming across the like the Macon Bridge. They're swimming from the Lower Peninsula to the Upper Peninsula, and so I'm going to go give him some. He has like 4.5 miles or something crazy. So we're just going to do a swim instruction. So I got here at 8:30. I'll take off in about an hour. So I went back packed yogurt, a peanut butter jelly sandwich, some watermelon grapes that we had left over from Memorial Day weekend, and then like some Cheez-Its. So just stuff to snack on. But yeah, I eat like all day. And I don't know how you are, but for me, it's just like constantly eating or what is going to be the next thing that I eat.
Yeah. I so I would say I was very food focused at the end of the night because I didn't listen to the science and packed 2 diet phases back to back. Lost 40 pounds, but I definitely needed a bad break at the end of that. But after a nice diet break, kind of reset the mental. In about 5 weeks, I'm at 200 calories surplus, which is delightful. I can lose weight and not have to think about food a ton. So that's nice. But yeah, I would say if I completely fall off the bandwagon, I end up getting food focused just because the quality of my diet goes down. So then like I need more volume of food just because it's not taking a lot. Like I could take in 6,000 calories a day if you just let me get taco, like easy. So you're maintaining what you weigh?
It fluctuates anywhere from like 130 to 135. Like after a workout, I'll be maybe even below 130, depending on like how long it was, how much I sweat. But then at the end of the day, like last night, I think I was like 134.5 or something like that. So I tested myself when we first got it, and I weighed in at the heaviest that I ever weighed in on the DEXA, which was like 135. But I was also the lowest body fat percentage that I ever had on the DEXA as well, at like 9.2. So tell me about it. But yeah, like I said, it fluctuates between 130 and 135, depending on the time of day, really.
So you maintain 135-ish at roughly 4K calories. I maintain at the back-to-back lowest weigh-ins. I'm the biggest and the leanest I've ever been. But I maintain 209 at 3,200 calories with my current activity. Wild, right? Almost 100 pounds more. But almost
Like
1,000 pounds less.
I'll be losing weight like crazy if I only eat 300 calories a
Yeah,
day.
for sure.
I tell you what, it's gonna be a rude awakening when I stop
Yes,
doing
for
all
sure.
the exercise that I do and have to really cut back on my nutrition. That's why I do it. I do it so I can eat.
Perfect. Yeah. So when I did, so that means I made I call it gain I like gained ever so slightly
Okay.
over the course of 5 weeks. I
Like,
gained about a pound. I did that at 3,400 calories, which is still would put you in a deficit.
yeah.
I I had to drastically drop down my steps to kind of make sure I was rehabbing from the shin splints, but kind of building those back up. I hover in like the around the 9 to 10K average, and then vigorous resistance training 6 days a week. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I try to get 10,000 steps a day, every day. And even if I need to like walk laps around my kitchen table or something. And so like Garmin tracks it, and my 10,000 day step streak is pretty long, like at least 100 days.
Wow.
It was, gosh, it was a really, really long time, before I said something happened where like Christy and I had done something, or she had come into my life, and like my step streak was over a year long of 10,000 steps. It was like I think it was like 500 days, and then she and I started dating, and I like I didn't get 10,000 steps in a day, and, she took the blame for that one. But yeah,
That's
it's
funny.
it's been it's been a long time. Let's see. I'm gonna go back weeks. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's been 9 months since the last time I didn't get 10,000 steps. Why didn't I get 10,000? I only got 5,000 steps
Wow.
that day. What's going
Your
on that
watch
day?
time
No, I'd have to look back and see what I was doing on October 15th of 2023.
failing.
Yeah, clearly. But it's crazy because I I get sometimes 10,000 steps before 8 o'clock in the morning when I go for a run, but my sister-in-law will have like 3,000 steps at the end of the day, or even Christy, like when she gets home from work, she'll have less than 5,000 steps because they're just sitting at their
Yeah.
desk all day long. So, um, yeah,
I really
crazy.
enjoy walking to work. We're
Yeah,
gonna,
that's nice that you're so close.
yes, we're gonna try to rent this as long as we can until we can really find a spot in an area that we like. But my thinking is even if I'm within like, if I'm inside of like a 45-minute to an hour drive here, um, that drive will be so made up of traffic, it wouldn't actually be
Yeah,
slower to bike. So I might actually just get like a
right.
proper bike and just keep the exercise up that way.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, and I mean, I live, it's a 30-minute drive to Allendale, and there's really no good bike ride
mm,
routes out there. And Christy's talked about riding her bike to work because she used to ride her bike to the hospital, but we were a little closer to downtown, and at this point, it would be close to an hour for her to ride her bike downtown. But I would love to be able to live somewhere that I could do that. And I used to, like when I bought my condo, I was a 5-minute drive from, the clinic, and I would ride my bike on, nice summer days, and it would take me 12 minutes as opposed to a 5-minute drive. But yeah, not only saving money and gas, but
yeah,
even just the extra, you know, non-exercise. Well, I guess it kind of is exercise,
yeah,
but just the non-physical activity. It's just transportation
yeah,
calories that you're burning, and not, um, like you purposely have to go out of your way to get exercise. And I think that's why like people in Europe tend to have lower rates of obesity than here in the United States because the way that they set their cities up are so much more commuter friendly
yeah,
than we have here. I mean, if you go to the Netherlands, I've got friends who live in the Netherlands right now, and there are more bikes than there are cars.
yeah,
And the city is set up that you can bike to work or wherever downtown, that they have bike lanes in every road, and they have protected bike lanes, not just bike lanes, but like, I'm here on, I don't know the name of this road, but I'm looking out here. It's one, two, three, four, 5 lanes wide. There's no bike lane. There are a couple sidewalks, but there's no bike lane. And it's not always safe for cyclists to ride on the sidewalk because you've got pedestrians on the sidewalk. And so then you have to go on the road, and people in the States aren't really like looking
yeah,
for cyclists in the road, and nor do they understand like the laws associated with it. And even cyclists don't know the laws of like what you are and are not supposed to do. And I see it all the time, and I think that's part of the reason why people dislike cyclists so much is because they see them doing stupid stuff. I just think there needs to be a lot more education around that, and it would just make transportation so much better in in cities, and
yeah.
it would make the health of the United States just exponentially better.
So with steps, people wrongly think that dieting can cause like a ton of negative metabolic adaptation, and your metabolism will slow as you get lighter, but people like aggressively, they think it's a lot more than what it is. It's like 50 calories for a good amount of weight. I forget the exact number, but it's a negligible. But what is actually happening is your neat's decreasing. So if you've been in a calorie deficit for a long time, if you were a leg twitcher, you're not a leg twitcher anymore subconsciously. If you were likely to go get the remote to hit skip on Netflix instead of letting it do the 15-second thing, it's going to do the 15-second thing. Things like that. So though you can't affect neat technically, I think it's like a proxy for general daily activity, keeping up a step count. And it kind of solves the neat decreasing.
Yeah.
You cut out
No.
there for a second, but I think you're back.
Okay. I heard everything you said, so it was all good. Um, yeah, I just think getting people to exercise by not having to actually go to the
Yeah.
gym or like make it go out of their way. So like that, um, like you talked about, you can't change neat really. Like, yeah, the whole, it is funny, the leg twitching thing or, getting up to get the remote. Because that stuff does happen subconsciously and it's something we don't even think about. But um, I know I'm so lazy. Like I don't, because I think it's because I exercise so much that I'm just like anytime I have to get up and do anything, I'm like I don't want to.
Yeah.
Just like I need to conserve more calories because otherwise I have to eat even more.
The the other thing that makes it the previous conversation even more pathetic, probably in your eyes, is I play 4 hours of vigorous basketball a week and 2 hours of try hard pickleball a week too. So on top of the that, and that's still what it takes for me to maintain.
I mean, that's still 6 hours. Like
Yeah,
that's on top of all the other stuff you're doing, right? I mean, I train roughly 14 hours a week
yeah,
with swim, bike, run. And granted the calorie burn for those is going to be higher than it is for lifting weights or um, pickleball or basketball. But one thing that gets me, and I don't know that you probably hear about this more than I do in my area of expertise, is just when people talk about lifting weights to put on muscle so they burn more calories at rest. I think I did the math one time,
it's nothing.
and right, well, it's so crazy that like if you have a 200-pound individual who's, let's just say, you know, 20% body fat, so they have 40 pounds of body fat and 160 pounds of muscle. You would have to, and I don't remember the exact math that I did, but I could redo it but it was something crazy. Like they would have to lose 20 pounds of muscle and gain, or I'm sorry, lose 20 pounds of fat and gain 20 pounds of muscle. So they have to go to 10% body fat to burn an extra like 100 calories at rest. And to lose 20 pounds of fat and gain 20 pounds of muscle is not happening for most people. And that extra 100 calories that you're burning at rest like is nothing. It's
Yeah,
like a banana. So I think people they overvalue the amount or the role that muscle plays in burning calories at rest.
yeah,
And it's like, yes, it helps a little bit, but to make an appreciable change in the amount of calories that you're burning at rest, you have to have like almost life-changing body composition changes,
yeah,
right? So, it's like you just have to exercise. You have to go out and do things. You have to decrease the amount of calories that you're eating if you want to lose weight.
yeah,
Like, so it's just crazy stuff like that that I think about and that I get. I'm sure you
yeah,
get it more with, the strength training aspect. Endurance athletes don't really want to lift weights, but they do sometimes, think about building muscle and stuff like that. Although a lot of endurance athletes are worried about building too much muscle, and I don't want to be bulky and da, da, da. So, um, yeah, I'm sure you get that a lot. But yeah, it's just crazy how little it actually affects your weight loss or calorie burn at rest.
yeah. It's negligible for sure. And it's just weird that like that's the thing. Like, I can't imagine having to talk someone into muscle mass or like outside of like sporting considerations. It's like, hey, you know that tone thing that you want? It's actually muscle mass that does that. Hey, you know that injury prevention thing you want in sport, in life? Oh, that's also muscle mass. Hey, do you want like better quality of life and increased surgical outcomes and decreased risk of injury and more healthy and functional aging and increased life expectancy? It's all muscle mass. Do you want increased insulin sensitivity? Oh, it's muscle mass. Like my opening line in a
Yeah,
lot of
but
my
yeah, but
class,
I don't want to look like a bodybuilder. I don't want to look jacked. I don't want to get too much muscle.
that's like saying like you don't want to get your driver's license because you're worried you're going to become a NASCAR driver. It's wild. That's not an original Zach Droll quote. I forget who I heard that from, but it's delightful.
It's great.
Well, there was something I was gonna say. Yeah, no, and like, there's no one that's 90 that thinks to themselves, "Man, I wish I had less muscle and was weaker." Like, which it'll be interesting if or when you retire from your sport. Like, are you planning on putting on some muscle? Not that you're under
That's a good
muscled.
question. Yeah, I don't know. Because I used to be like I used to weightlift all the time, and that was I mean, I played baseball. I know a whopping 10 pounds heavier than I am now. It was hard to get up there, but yeah, I mean, I'll probably get back in the weight room a little bit more, and or just have the weights at the house,
Yeah,
and do more weightlifting stuff. But I think for me, it's going to be more about like balance and functional exercise and things like that, as opposed to actually going to the gym and squatting or something like that. But yeah, I try not to think about it too much.
yeah.
I feel like I'm 35. I don't still got a ways ahead of me, but my parents are at that age.
What is
My
that age in
dad will
your
be
sport?
60. Well, my dad will be 64 in the fall. But it's not even so much about the age, it's just like the condition of his body, because he's a marathon runner. He's run over 50 marathons and ultra marathons, and um, he just sent me a text yesterday. He's been injured for the last several years, and really
Goodness.
like running has been sporadic at best. And he misses it a lot. But he's just like his joints aren't great. Um, my brother is a personal trainer in Atlanta, and he's writing workouts for my dad, and trying to help improve muscular strength and support the bones and joints that he's having issues with.
Is he gonna come to the dark
Um,
side?
I mean, my dad used to lift a lot of weights too, so he's gone through his own change of endurance training and strength training, and so he just loves running and he wants to get back to it. So, but yeah, it's and my wife's parents, they both had surgery recently, like one on their foot and one on their knee, and just like watching them try to bend down and pick something up or stand up from sitting in the chair, or they get bumped by the dog, who the dog is like 100 pounds. It's a Bernese Mountain
Oh
Dog,
my gosh,
or
give it a hug for me.
yeah, my wife's brother has a Bernese Mountain Dog that came over the house over Memorial Day weekend, and bumped them, and just the way how much they get off balance, and like we're a little worried, like, are you gonna fall?
Is
And
it because they're
so
injured or are they not athletes?
they're not athletes. I mean, their extent of exercise is, I don't even know, walking out to the mailbox, like not super active. And so we kind of had a tough love conversation with them, like, hey, you guys need to start, taking care of yourselves a little
Yeah,
better, because, um, you know, number one cause of hospitalization in adults 65 and older is falls. So, we gotta prevent that from happening. So, yeah, no, but I don't know. I haven't thought about it for myself too much.
yeah, understandable. Like, I feel like we're both in sports that go for a long time. You can lift for life. Your sports sound like you can go for ages. Golf is
I
for
mean, yeah,
life.
you've got runners who are 100 years old who are still running. Obviously, it's like the 100-meter dash, but cycling with triathlon, I can cycle. Cycling's a lot easier on the
Yeah,
body than running is, or swimming. So you can definitely do it for a while.
yeah. Um, what is, I've been meaning to ask you this like 100 times just over the course of our friendship. What is Everyman Jack? Like, I have no clue. I just see you. I saw like you smelled deodorant and we're on the beach, and I was like, oh, Todd's naked.
Uh, yeah, Everyman Jack is a men's grooming product line. The owner, or the founder of Everyman Jack, was a triathlete, and he started a triathlon team. And this was, I don't know, 12-ish years ago. And so he started a triathlon team that was largely just based out of the Bay Area and San Francisco, and it's kind of expanded all across the US and up into Canada. But yeah, it's a men's grooming product line. They make soap, shampoo, body wash, deodorant, shaving products like beard care. Um, they make razors, and it's all produced in the United States. It's cruelty free, vegan. They use a lot of naturally derived ingredients. post-consumer recycled products. Everyman Jack's a great company. I think like as far as companies go, they're a B Corp, which means that they're, focused on sustainability and helping to protect the environment. They do a lot of things and they give back to a lot of different companies that help like protect the national forests and things like that. So yeah, that's why I'm always wearing my Everyman Jack stuff. But this is also a Lululemon shirt, which is another one of our sponsors.
Oh
So
man,
we just get the Everyman Jack printed on it. So it's funny. My stepdaughter yesterday was like, Todd, I don't think you ever change your clothes because I'm always wearing Everyman Jack. I'm like, well, I have like 15 of these shirts. They're all different. They kind of look the same, but yeah. So I do. I wear Everyman Jack pretty much everywhere I go.
I'm gonna become a world champion in something just so I can get sponsorships. Worth it.
I
Um,
mean, they sponsor a lot of different types of athletes. Like they sponsor skiers and snowboarders, surfers, obviously like triathletes, but even just like social media, some social media influencers they sponsor, but it's like people who are going outdoors and doing things outdoors because one of their one of their mottos or something is like outdoor inspired
hmm,
because a lot of their products are inspired by the outdoors. So like they just came out with these cold plunge bars. It's a cold pressed soap bar and they have scents like Pacific Dive and Tahoe Blue where it's inspired by Lake Tahoe or the Pacific
yeah,
Ocean. They've got sea salt, which is with the deodorant you saw me
yeah.
smelling when I was on my
Where you got
honeymoon in
naked?
Cabo, right? Yeah, so I was only half naked, but um, yeah. So they make a lot of outdoor inspired scents.
Sometimes when I go to the store to like get grooming products and stuff in general, not only do I take like the longest way to get there, I will specifically sit in the parking lot for like 15 minutes with my car just floored and parked to make as much exhaust and environmental damage as I can, just to counteract. No, I'm totally kidding. You said,
Counteract all the good that I'm doing.
yeah,